So today I wanted to talk about terror rifts, make a guide for doing them as efficiently as possible in terms of getting the most rewards in the least amount of time. First thing is make sure you do it in a four-person party, if possible, and show up ahead of time so that you're make sure to start from the moment it opens, so you have the full amount of time and in order to do it. The advantages of being in a four-person party include you can get your daily normal gems from Terra Rifts, along with other certain other types of activities as well. Yeah, every day you have a certain amount of normal gems that you can get only in a four-person party that's independent of other sources for gems. And then the other benefit to being in any sort of party in Terra Rifts is that you can shout out the location of spires, and if you really want to, you know, get serious about that, um, you could maybe make a chat shortcut um, to announce, hey, look, pay attention to the locations that I link, and they'll be for spires. And you can actually, on the right side of your chat bar, you can with the smiley face icon, you can link a number of things, including location. So that's just a bonus tip there. And as soon as you uh, zone in, and as soon as any other subzones become active, the first thing you should do is find a spire. And basically, it's a matter of learning the maps because there are only a few, like maybe two to four possible spire locations per subzone. So yeah, I found that, and then I went around efficiently killing monsters until I got the shards to complete this first spire. And you see, definitely prioritize elites. So here I'm killing a bunch of elites, even though I have enough to activate the spire. Because once you activate the spire, if your party members kill the elites, you'll be kind of in a different phase and you won't get those shards. So definitely just drill that in. You always want to focus on prioritize elites no matter what in this game mode, unless you're maybe on the last spire and you're almost out of time or something. Okay, so now let's talk about what I'm doing now is I'm going over into an adjacent subzone, and this is really about process of elimination. So this is, of course, one of the other three subzones that could become active next. And so I'm just efficiently killing monsters in this subzone. And now that I see the timer ticking down, I'm making my way to a nearby waypoint, just in case I want to use that in order to avoid interruption because the monsters spawn frequently. And it turns out it wasn't in that subzone, but it was in an adjacent one. So instead of using the waypoint, I just decided to come over here, killing some more monsters as I go. And here I am making my way again to the possible spire locations in this subzone. And I believe there are only two possible locations in this subzone. This is one, and it's not in there. So I'm going to the other one, which is nearby. There it is. So this is the other possible location. And you see, again, I'm killing the nearby elites before I activate it. And okay, so every time you activate a spire, you just, kill a wave of monsters, and then like one or two waves, and then kill the boss. It's pretty straightforward to defeat the spire. Okay, there's the boss. You see that he has over 6 million health. This is in Inferno 3. So I'll talk about builds in a bit. And yeah, here I'm going over again to the next or one of the other possible subzones where it could spawn next, and the particular subzone I'm headed to is one of my favorites. So let me actually talk about the best maps, like the best zones and the best subzones. And yeah, in my opinion, and this is I've seen this opinion shared by other YouTubers that the best map as far as getting the highest score or possible, and making sure you get all four spires if you know, as long as you know the map, is Mountains of Vane, followed by Library of Zoltan Kulle. And uh yeah, there are other, I mean, any of them you should be able to get all four spires on any of the maps. It's but I think in general um the best maps I found for these tear rifts are also the same as the best maps for open world farming. And this is I actually ran one popular loop just there, where in open world they have the undead crusade fallen crusaders, and here it's the popular monk loop that I'm doing now. So when when I've defeated all of the active spires, yeah, one thing I like to do is essentially loot farm, or at least actively farm, run around. And here I was making my way to a waypoint there, but it turns out, yeah, this is one of the two subzones left, and it's the one where Spire spawned. And again, this is from knowledge. I know this is one of the possible spawn locations for this subzone, so I went right to it. And on the way, I passed very close by the other possible Spire location for this subzone. Okay, and yeah, so this is the other loop I was talking about that's good in both open world farming, and there it's been popular for a long time in open world farming, and it's also good for this rift. And here I'm actually now in the final subzone, and this is the largest subzone in this zone of Mount Zebane, and it has, I believe, the greatest number of possible spawn locations for spires. And I'm basically going around the whole subzone here just for the hell of it. Um, yeah, I passed one possible spire location. There's another one here that I'm passing, and of course it's not active right now, but um, you'll see when it becomes active that I basically make this whole loop all over again before I finally find the spire that happens to spawn there. Okay, so another thing about build, so you want to have a good farming build, an active farming build with high mobility and and great ability to kill packs of monsters as you run by. And since the monsters are a little beefier here than in open world of the same difficulty, then there you may find you need to either tweak your build, or at least optimizations might be more important for terror rifts than they are for open world for you. So I would refer you for that. I'd refer you to my ultimate guide to loot farming, which I'll link in the description, particularly part two, which is optimizations. And there, as I say, if you're within a certain range of power in terms of your basically your spending in the game and your level of optimization, how good your build is and everything, you may find that the kinds of optimizations I go over in that guide may not be necessary for open world farming, for actually loot farming, but they may be necessary, or at least very beneficial for terrorists. So here you see that this subzone now has become active. I'm uh, running around, and so one way that this is similar to loot farming is you don't want to stop and pick up every last fragment. Um, it's better to circle back around areas where you've already killed monsters and dropped fragments, other than except for the elite packs, which drop more per pack. Here we go. Here's finally the last spire. Okay, and yeah, I will actually link in the description particular farming builds that I can recommend for particular classes, um, so that yeah, no matter what class you play, you can make sure to have a good build for that class. And then yeah, refer to part 2 of my ultimate loot farming guide if you need to optimize that build to help you, kill faster and everything. So here, all of the spires have been destroyed, and you could just leave here. It would be perfectly fine to just leave. A lot of people do at this point. And to be honest, look at this. I have 938 bonus fragments at this point. And the rewards, you do get rewards in the mail for bonus fragments, but they have a really bad return on their investment, in my opinion. You'll see at the end of the video they really suck. Like there's not a single legendary among them for all of the shards that bonus fragments I've collected, and that's very typical. I rarely even get a single legendary from those bonus rewards. So if you want to save time, uh, a minute or two or whatever, if you're making good time, then yeah, definitely leave as soon as you uh, complete the last spire. If you if they change it so that if you don't get a terror essence from the first three, you're guaranteed one from the fourth. So um, and you can get more than one. So if you get a terror essence from an earlier spire, it definitely is still worth doing all four for that chance at another, in my opinion. But you can make that call. And the ultimate reward is actually in your codex. If you complete uh, 10, use 10 terror essences every week by either activating them directly from your inventory, which will take you to run an Oblivion pillar, or else upgrading your bounties to Hellslayer bounties. Um, then and run 10 Hellslayer bounties and or Oblivion pillars for the week. Then you can go into your codex and get an item that'll be guaranteed to be at least be guaranteed to have three primary attributes as well as three or four magic attributes. So you definitely want to get that every single week. And that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.